Library of the Brooklyn Public Library, and I'm a librarian. I'm not the speaker of this program. I'm working here, in the central, but I am glad to tell you that so you come to this program, which is a very good choice, good decision, because this program is very unique. As you can see that those posters of the buildings, those New York City landmark buildings, churches, museums, Metropolitan Museum for Art, Natural History, and the library, New York Public Library, etc., etc. So all these buildings, they constructed in the 18th century, 19th century, early 20th century in New York City. As you know, there are lots of buildings, and not just the buildings, sculptures, things like that. What when those some parts of the building are weathered down, damaged, So here we have a restoration expert, and this is Master Shijia Chen. So he's been working in this field for many years, and he starts a company which is called B&H. I think the information is contained in the booklet. So lots of people thinking, oh wow, so damage of the building, what do we do with it? Restoration of them maybe involve, the stone cutter, just put the material. But of course, it's not that simple. So Mr. Chen is not a stone cutter only. But of course, he does. He deals with the stones, clays, plaster, the wood, all those kind of material. But he must have a knowledge. He's a designer. You have to design. You should be knowledgeable about what is the original material that is used to construct, make those buildings, right? And what is the original design? And so how do we work and make them not as new, but as old, as original as possible, close to them. Sometimes it's not 100%. But his job, responsibility, is to make them replicate them as much close as possible to the original, right? So that the public will view it as if it's being not damaged at all, And so these posters, and he takes the pictures, show them. He's going to tell you more details, all right, about something history, some design, how he does the work. And you can stop and him and any questions. This is not a lecture. This is sort of discussion, interaction. So you can just raise your hand. So here I have a question, right? What about this? Maybe you can contribute, to the discussion with your knowledge because you all live in New York City, right? So okay. So and I almost know nothing about the fields, and I'm not going to say a lot. So the speaker is Mr. Master Shijia Chen. So I leave the platform to him. Okay. Yes.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. And I'm Shijia Chen, obviously. So, B&H Architecture is my company. We started the company at the 1990s, a long time ago. And I started to do this kind of work since 1985. So, when not too many people are doing this. And the B&H stands for brain and hand. So what we do, we not only use hand to do the work, we have to think what we should do. So the logo is the art in architecture. That's my own design. So try to say as much as possible, but I don't think that the time allows me to do that. So I'm going to introduce some work. I think it's very fascinating. So, see what. This is the first work I did at New York City Courthouse, the Twin Courthouse. I don't know if it's the Department of Education right now. Same block as City Hall.
Chambers Street?
Yeah, Chambers Street. And we started at the 1999 January, and the complete just right before 9/11. August 31st.
But that was a disaster, right? Tweed's courthouse. It was not a courthouse. It was money after money after money after money, and it just never got done.
That was the 19th century when the building, it was a disaster.
Yeah.
And so when the building was complete, the mayor, Tweed,
Yeah.
was in the jail. And then the courthouse just sent him into jail. So that's why this building, for a long time, the city think this is a shame of the city. So for a long time, they want to destroy this, torn this down. And until early 1980s, so they decide let it stay. And this is one of the best landmark building in the city right now. And after restore, this building has the best systems inside the building, all everything, the ventilation, lighting, and internet connections, because it used to be supposed to be a museum of New York City. And Mr. Bloomberg started his job there, and he finished it. He just wanted to make it the Department of Education. So become a department. So this is the capitals. We did the job. We only did the capital repair on this job. So this is the capitals. There are 4 this kind currency style capital, like a 6 feet tall, and across 6 feet as well. So this is a very big size, and also the 4 of those and the 12 of this shape. So what you see over here, the white part is all replacement. So this is you see the drawing. You see where the red area is missing. So basically, we did almost all the details, and this is the part of the big leaf. These leaves, and the stones. The raw stone was very big. 2 pieces like this come to appear. So a lot of work here.
How did you do it? Did you steam clean it?
No, we did the carving. This is the stone. We bought it. And this is one pair of the capital, the leaves. Excuse me.
Do you have original drawings to work from, or how much guesswork is there here?
Actually, before we start job, there is a plaster model, complete model, in somewhere in the building.
Yeah, but the original designer, do you ever
That's
have in the
original
19th
design.
century?
Because this is not. Actually, you see all the capitals.
Oh, just copied the other one.
Yeah, it's not 100% gone those details. So somewhere, some parts still there. So they put everything together. So then we did it. So this is how we did the job. So I carved from this block, and then carved to the, start from this.
Was that laser?
This?
Yeah.
Carve?
Yeah. Laser?
No, by hand.
Or by hand?
Yeah, by hand, and use diamond blade saw on the side, 10 inch and 4 inch saw. We cut it, and this, of course, we did a template first, and everything based on. Then you see, start from here, then come to here, then come to here. You see, this is the finish. This smaller part, but that was a big piece, 25 inches long, and this tall is 11 inches, and the thickness was 9 inches from there. So 2 pieces put together as one pair. And also like a lot of flower like this, everything we did an on-site carve. We just carve everybody. We only have 3 guys carve on-site for 18 months for finish everything. Yes.
Quick question. So how do you attach the new part to the existing
Yeah,
part?
that's a good question.
Do you use dowels or?
We use there is a pin here, stainless steel pin, and with epoxies.
Okay.
So this is attached together. This like here, and you see this have a stainless steel pin inside like this also, and so this is what used to be. Originally, all parts was gone. You see this round, this still here, and somewhere is gone. And you see somewhere else missing, but this is a very bad shape, so we have to knock down a lot of it. The stone was very bad shape. So, but this also gives the original form to us to carve or to put together. You see this? It's all gone. But not only for carving, also the engineering. You see, this gentleman was asking how to put together. This was the biggest thing, to put everything together. So when we set this, it was very easy way. Because when we do this, obviously you cannot use any kind of rope or clamp to hold it together. Because over here, you see there are 3 different angles. This scrolls go this way, leaves go that way, everything put together. So when we put together these 2 pieces, have to stay together and stably. We cannot let them loose. And also epoxy getting cured very quick, like only 40 minutes, or to us only 20 minutes to work. So no time to set up any kind of supporting things. So we had a very simple solution, did this, and only took us a time to turn a screw, turn a nut. Because this is like well, after carving, we still have over 150 pounds for each piece, so very heavy. And we had a stainless steel screw here, and this head is just you cannot hold it like that way. It's completely just fall down, no support here. So what we did was a very simple way. You see the hole here, the screw hole, and we don't want to show anything outside of the form. So we go through the screw hole. We put one piece of stainless steel rod over here, and then use another stainless steel rod, made a hook, and hold this rod in the middle here, and all the way goes through the top of this, and then add the nut on top, and just screw it. So hold this together. You don't need to hold it by hand. It's just when we set, we just hold it, then start to turn the nut, so it's hold it by itself. When the epoxies get cured, it works by itself. So so when the job was, we working on the architect company was John Webb, the association, and their engineer was came to look how we did it, and did not say anything. They just left because this is a very, very excellent work, I feel. And we saved a lot of time for this. not only for the carving also we did very quickly. And 3 guys did all those carving work only for 18 months. So it's a very quick work and a perfect job. That's why I feel very proud of this. And this is the drawing. It's a lot of and this piece, the flower, the stone for this flower was 13 inches by 14 inches by 15 inches. So also we carved everything outside. And also we had some another replacement for like this kind of shape on the back of the building. So this is all complete after the scaffolding. So you see the 12 like this, 4 on the east elevation, another 4 on the west elevation. So 4 like this over here, the north elevation. This is cursive porch. So 4 like this. It looks small from the ground. So this is another project that is the Supreme Court Appellate Division. Appellate Division is another project with need a lot of work. So this is actually a lot of sculptures. This building this project right after we finished the Twin Courthouse.
Is that 23rd Street?
25th. 25th Madison Avenue.
Madison.
Yeah, this is a lot of sculptures larger than life size, and also over here, also over here, and also for these 2 we call it the architect called Miller. Over here we changed this. And this is this building. When they built this building, was just said they spent $600,000 for the building, but they spent $400,000 for the sculptures. So they hired the master carvers. Did a very good work. So when somebody did a repair work in early 1980s, 1960s. So when we do the job, they feel because architects think that some carving is bad and they did not use the right stone material. So this is the after job. We we replace the head, the face somewhere. It's a face here, this face, this arm, and this guy's leg. And this is actually the Confucius, the Chinese master Confucius. I fixed his nose. This up. This.
So how long do you like it to last before the next repair?
Next, what?
How long will it last for the next repair? How many years?
Another 100 years, I believe, because this is actually it's over 100 years. The last time the repair was not very successful. So until we replace this, I think it's will last another 100 years. I don't think another people can. Actually, honestly, I don't think another people can do this kind of work on site to repair. We are the only company can do on site those kind of repair.
So you got to teach it to pass it on to the next generation.
If I can, definitely I hope so. I wish so. Yeah, this is
What's the benefit of doing it on-site versus off-site?
It's a shorter process because if not on site, you have to measure, check, or just like we did a clay work and then cast in plaster, and if it's in the studio, so use the plaster stuff to work outside. Then you have to carve, then always will not 100% match the side. You have to put on, then you have to do a lot of work to take it down and put back. And so anyway, what you carved in the studios will not make sense. So you have to retouch everything almost, then put together. So what we did, so just put almost just like a rough cut the stone and carve on side. Just make it very quick. You will see the.
Do you have to forecast weather? Like as the rain, how much
As the
it's going
rain,
to
so
snow,
you can-
pigeons and all that kind of stuff?
You cannot get rid of. You cannot. You have. They stay outside. They have to deal with
They
it.
have to stay outside.
So you cannot do anything. You know, they are older than us. Anyway. So that's why we change their face, the arm.
But you know what? Who are they? Who are these statues?
This is someone they from. I don't
I
really
often wonder,
know those stories because, but this is actually just from a Greek story.
Okay,
Greek from
As opposed to Roman.
this is a group of peace, and another group in the South Celebration is justice. And those single men stand on the wall. Actually, they are the masters of let me go back to the masters of the
Judicial
like
system.
protected or something.
not that it's philosopher
Oh.
from all the world. Like this is Confucius, and some is like Louis XV, and some Muhammad. Actually, Muhammad was on the other side of the building, and originally, you see the corner over there. After this guy over there, the corner, the last one is Muhammad. Actually, they took it down in 1960s because they said that they're not allowed, the Muslims not allowed a figure statue in the stand on it. So they took it down to the basement. And but when we fixed it, they said that the statue is gone. I don't know. They said nobody knows where to move to. So the rest of those, like you guys, moving 15 or 16, 15, I think. And then philosophers. And this is called justice. And they are all, this kind of stories from an older,
But that's the Parthenon, basically, right?
Pardon me?
That's the Parthenon. Has
Parthenon, has similar people actually.
Athena.
Yeah, Athenas. They are similar, but like this. So anyway, this represents the law, right? They always the older stuff. The later, and they don't have the statues, but you still see the same type of the roof, the porch there. And now you don't see those. You only see a sign, some courthouse, So, because I don't think this costs a lot of money to come. So you see, we replaced the face, legs, and we did the clay work first, and cast the plaster. And this guy is also we did the same thing, carved on site. This is the process. And usually originally the last time they prepared, they left the piece like a shell. So inside piece is like a round piece, you know. So this outside is a shell like this big. But when I don't do this kind of work, so it's make it easier. Just cut this flat, so it's easy to fit. So you see the stones just like this. The rough cut, we just you see we rough cut this. Those doesn't stay at all. This is the first face I carved on site for this job. So the second phase, I don't do that anymore. I feel just lost a lot of time for this. So then carve, and then see the confusions. This part is replacement, and also his hand somewhere restored. Replace his hand. This is another face. It's in the triangle area. And this guy is older repair. I removed this because the stone was not right, and also the form was not right. This guy, actually, they made a huge mistake after I removed the stone because. You see this forehead area, they stick out too much. The proportion is wrong, it's not right. And then I took off the stone, I found it because they put a pin just right behind the eyes. Because then when they put a pin, they did not calculate where they're supposed to put it. So they drill a hole first, I believe. So it's right behind the eyes. So it's to make that they cannot count too much, otherwise the work goes through the hole. So they will show the hole here. That's why they have to leave this part much bigger. And this is the new face. I replaced it. Actually, just like I said, they put the stone there to fit and the carve on the side. And also, this is the same thing. This end and this whole piece was replaced by this. And also another one, this originally the hand was red, we replaced the arm from here. This is the process, this is the finish, and then this is also the hand. And then this is the nose, replacing our nose. And this is the process also. See, this is the way, actually, before we put stone, the epoxy here. Epoxy, then it's carved. And also, we replaced 2 needle stone. It's a very huge, very big size of the stone on the corner of the building. You see the stone we put in, and this is the whole big block. And this is the one piece, separate 3 pieces. This is the triangle piece. We install the stone, then we carve outside. You see, this is after we remove the stone, huge size. And this is the stone after installed. Before carve. You see all the drill holes? So the drill try to knock out a big piece. So this is after, this is a new piece, new area. This is all carved outside. This is the depth of the stone, how big the stone is. Never scaffolding.
Okay.
Yeah, we are the We are subcontractors. So there's a general contract there, and this is the architect firm and the general contract. So we are the part of the team, but we just do our work. They do this, and they do a lot of roofing work, the other things.
Yeah, because you see,
Yeah, except this. So landmark department was part of this, and also this building belongs to PDC. So project. Okay, the next project is Grace Church in New York. I don't know if you know this. This is 10th Street, Broadway. It's a great landmark building, and the architect is also the designer for the St. Patrick Cathedral. And when he was young, like in the 20s, he designed this building. And then we did almost all the windows, over 20 windows on this building. And we replaced these pinnacles, the finial, and the pinnacle base here. And this base was like this 8 heads, over here on the bottom. And this pinnacle, this side of the pinnacle was totally gone because there was a big tree here. One day, the branch was fell down and knocked down this pinnacle completely. So then, this pinnacle was lost for a long time, and this pinnacle, the detail was completely gone. So just like a simple column there, stand there for a long time. So when we do the work, I have to try to design the detail for this one because there's no another detail similar to this to this part. I have to design these details for the area.
Now, who funded the cleaning for the church? Because it's a society church, or that's what it became, and it's annexed to a school.
Yes,
So who
yes.
funded this?
Pardon me?
Who funded it? Who paid for the cleaning and all that?
This is not only cleaning. Actually, this building we haven't cleaned yet. We just do the stonework.
You just restored. You didn't.
Yeah, we haven't done the cleaning because this job also come to me is the architect. The architect firm, we did this directly from architect in the church. And for this part, there was a general contract. Nicholson Galloway was the general contract for this part. And all those windows we did was just directly from the church and the architect to me.
So when you say you did the windows, what do you mean, like steam cleaning, or
I
you took out like?
You see this?
Yeah.
This is the after replace the used stone. Actually, we did 3 different ways to replace fix those windows. The first time we changed like over 10 to 18 or 20 windows. Was changed the half of the window. Stained glass people contracted, they took off the glass, stained glass. Then we cut half of the stone away, the outside half away. Then we put the back, replace with a new stone, and epoxy them together, then carved on side. So you can. This is the only picture I for here for this process.
No lead?
What, pardon me?
Lead? No lead?
No lead. This is Actually, this is Indiana limestone. So all natural stone here.
So do you have to get approval from the Landmarks Preservation Commission before you start to work?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because that's the architect's job. They have to go through everything. What I did over here is all national landmark or city landmarks.
Yeah.
So you see this is one of the tracery window. Actually, this is another way to. This is complete replacement. It's not cut cap. This is everything you took it down, and they remove the stained glass. So before we do the new work, we just had to trace all the shapes down for the template. So you see this is the template. Then we cut the new stone. And you see we separate the stone, the joints here, to make multi pieces because the originally was only 2-piece stone, like this. To have it, definitely we cannot install it that way. So architect decided we had to cut it to separate 2 small pieces.
When you cut the pieces, what kind of material do you use? What tools do you use? Do you use some kind of a laser tool, like some kind of diamond cut?
I really wish we have laser. We can do that. Actually, we did that with 4-inch diamond grinder.
Right.
And it took us, because really I wish we can use laser to do that, or another way.
What
That's
was it like
something-
to get through the landmark committee? Because that is so difficult. What tools are we using? What stone are we replacing?
Actually, they don't care about tools. They care about the result and the material first. Result, the process, but the diamond tool that's become a standard tool to do this research. It's so they just want me to make the job right. So that's our job to make the job right. And so this is you see here before the carve into the details. And you see my guy is carving, try to carve, and this is the top part get off, and you see this is the curved area. And I try to remove those. To remove this area, so this will become out to remove. But then we have to shape. So this is almost done. This have to be rounded up. This is finished. So, and also we finish this. Actually, this is only part of the tracery. Then also we have to replace the models, the straight piece on the legs there. And the other thing is, tricky things, we have to keep those space same as before, because the stained glass has to be replaced back to those areas, location. So that's another thing. We cannot change anything. We have to remain everything exactly like it was. And this is another part of the job on the Grace Church. We did a repair work for a lot of locations like this. And then replace these kind of figures on a lot of these kind of. I did a lot of carvings on these, and also we had to remove 11 courses from this steeple, and include the cross, and then we replaced this part also. And also a lot of this kind of replacement is because we install the cross. And I was carving this. And this is an architect from Watermelon's architect firm. We did a lot of work with him. And mostly is Grace Church and the Courthouses. And the Grace Church, we did most of the job, but still have one part I always want to do, but they still haven't made decision yet. That's over here. This Grace Church was famous for its stained glass windows, high arches, and carved pulpit. So this is the piece. It's inside the garden, outside the building, and with it said almost all saints here. And you see all the details gone. This we took a couple years before, and now it's less and less. It feels so bad because that's part made the church very famous. I really wish, but I don't know. It's not on my hand.
Where do you get a majority of your funding from? Do you get private donations or?
I don't know. It's actually it's church's job, and I think some mostly from donation, and maybe some are from government as well. But I think that the most from this church is from donations.
But it's a very pricey school.
Pricey, right?
Grace Church, very expensive. So,
You mean the school?
the school,
Schools are
very
all here.
so, church school. I mean, there are a lot of churches with schools. So the church was funded by the school, right?
Yeah, the churches, because this church also,
And it's like $23,000 a year or something like that.
this church, from of this pulpit, there's a long yard here, and they just a couple years before they just dig a big room from inside, underneath of this land, just for the school. So another job is the public library on Main Branch, the 42nd Street, 5th Avenue. And this job was a 3 years project. And we did over 2,500 carved locations on this building. And we only have 5 people and a 3 years project and 3 phases. The first phase was a west elevation. I think this is the west elevation, and we did some the replacement of these stones and all those rosette carvings, which is replace all those, and some. But on the first year, we only had 2 or 3 guys. And then we did a lot of line faces here. And then you see this bracket replacing. And this was before. And you see this all rounded off. It's no details. So we have to see this before the capitals. This was damaged mostly by the bird.
The pigeons.
Yeah, pigeons.
Now, with your company like yours, do you put the netting in so you keep the pigeons out?
That's another company's job.
That's another company. That's another
Yeah, we only did the carving for this. Like, you see this replacement of this, the capitals.
I have a question about that. So the color, right? Is that the final color?
Colors.
Yeah, because from the first photographs that you started showing, I always noticed a huge difference.
That's a good question because all architects they very care about the colors and even landmarks also.
Yeah, I mean, landmarks usually they are really.
Yeah. But the colors, the difference between the old stone and the new stone. Even the same stone, they have different color.
Right.
And this after years, over 100. So actually, this project we did just for 110 years anniversary. the 2011, January 2011 was the 110th anniversary.
Because when the Pentagon was bombed, I think that they went back to the source of the granite in order to repair the Pentagon, 9/11.
Yeah.
They went back to the same source of granite to keep its integrity.
But even that, still they have a different color of stone.
Yeah.
You cannot. This is by nature.
Well, yeah, the stone is porous, so it's going to absorb any, dust or whatever. So that's going to give it like the darker color. So I'm just wondering if within time that color eventually is going to match the whatever is there.
Maybe yes and no.
Plus, if I could just add a word on, at least in some of the countries I've worked on with restorations, the point has been never to match the new to the old.
Never?
But,
What do you
to leave a delineation so that people can see what is original and what's restored. Because for many, traditionally with restoration, the idea was make everything seamless, we'll try to blend colors.
Yeah.
But later, at least in the 1990s on, in many places and many authorities who govern restorations in some countries make a specific point of saying that it should not match, because you want to know what's new and what's old, and you want the eye to be drawn to what's original. But I think the overriding point is the point that he made, which is materials are different, there's a difference between old and new, and things weather over time.
Labor.
Actually, you're right. Actually, like I did the job for Metropolitan Museum, and like Temple of Dendel,
Yes.
they purposely set a new stone half-inch smaller than original. They just show it's replacement.
Because the point of many restorations is not to go back to the beginning, but to be able to see what it was like at the time when the restoration
You
was
do the
done.
face, right?
Yes.
Like, remember the face that you said you wasted a lot of time on? That's
Which one?
the face of the statue that you said you wasted a lot of time on?
I did not say waste a lot.
Well, you said that it didn't fit. And that you
Oh,
couldn't get back
you
to time.
do different way, right?
How did you get it to fit? How did you get a new face on it?
How can I get a new face fit? But I'm a sculptor. I know how. Just a car with. Actually, I did it very quick. And, I did it actually for that job, the appellate court. I did all those sculptures, replacement, the hand, the face by myself, and very quick. They think I was charged too much.
And,
Honestly,
when the Parthenon was bombed
yeah.
for the first time in the 17th century, what did the ancient Greeks do about that? I mean, and then it was bombed again in the advent of the Second World War. So it's an interesting question. How do you repair the edifice and deal with theft and so forth?
I think that's because the different standard. Like in the
Standards change.
17th century, people replace it. Maybe totally different with the first time. Or maybe because they don't have such a tough rule for the landmark preservation, and also the carvers they give them at that time they have a lot of those carvers. Now we don't have many carvers here, and everything. And actually, some sculptors, the artists, is hard to deal with, right? They always say, "Oh, I'm the artist. I don't want to follow your rule or something." But I'm not. We are artists and we do whatever the landmark wants and do right job.
But is there a timeline for, does the color of the stone change? Is there an expectation that over a certain amount of time it will become more of the color?
Actually, no timeline for that.
So what about power washing the existing stone with some type of acid or something like that?
Power wash is not allowed for those buildings.
All right.
Yeah, because the preservation because power wash will remove a lot of surface away.
Gotcha.
Then even a lot of very sugary stone, like on this building and the two pediments on each corner, there are a couple of statues, group of sculptures, and in very bad shape, and they're very dirty. And they just don't want to do anything and don't want to touch, remove the stone, all the stone. It's a sugary, it's a real sugary. With a laser cleaning to remove those black, the dirt on the surface. So the remainder, all the stone is exactly what you want. Did not touch it.
What do they use again? Can you repeat that?
Laser.
Laser?
Like a laser cleaning.
Okay.
Yeah, laser, they just burn those dirt out right away, just like a smoke, and then without touching the stone behind it.
Speaking of smoke, what about candles and the way that you light? When I go to church at Queen of All Saints, I'm always looking at how it's lighted and what effect that takes on the artwork, the stonework, and so forth, and especially candles.
Yeah, candles also, they have a lot of those charcoals, dust mixed together. But if you really cannot, I think that the laser is the best way to clean for those things. And it's without touching the surface.
Well, how does that work? I mean, you go zap and it just like kind of falls off.
And laser, I think you know how laser works, right?
I do, actually. It's me on the floor.
Hi.
Hi. Yeah, it's a really fascinating process where it's the ultraviolet light. It penetrates the dirt and it basically pulverizes it instantaneously. So it creates a little fine puff of smoke almost, but it doesn't penetrate the material whatsoever. So
where does the dirt go?
In the air. So there's like actually a suction vacuum system that goes along when they're laser cleaning because it's such fine particles. You have to wear a mask, you have to have safety precautions and protection around your eyes and around your face. But the way that the laser works, it's so precise. And you can calibrate it depending on the material, depending on the type of dirt that's there, how long it's been there. I mean, it's a complete science to it. It's really cool. Really,
Sounds
really
very
cool.
intense.
Yeah, it is.
What do you have to wear? Like a big white?
No, well, it depends on what kind of system you're using, but mostly it's, your eyes, it's very important, and the dust, the particulates. So to have an extractor present is important too, but it's non-invasive. It's pretty cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
The laser is great, but in Europe, Italy, or another country, it's been used for a long time, since 1960s. Only here, I think, still think a different way. They start to use somewhere, like in the laboratory or museums.
So is that the only method of cleaning? Just laser?
That's the best way. It's only technique to clean, remove those dirt without touching the surface.
Right.
That's the only place, only thing. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, those are just replacement. These two pieces was the same location you saw that before. This was the sample of the job before we really started the job. The brackets. And but after all, they just decided not to fix anything, just to fix this part. Because too many. So they only fix this part. Replace this part to make everything look like it.
But did you want to your mind, did you want to just do the whole thing? You try to say, I just can't fix a part of it. I have to do the whole thing?
I cannot say that. As a contractor, we obey what the architect decides. And the save money is a big issue because this is one of the projects we did with a lot of contractors. I think we did 3 big projects in New York. I think it's a life opportunity, like a twin courthouse for those capitals, and appellate court. How many? Yeah, and the sculptures, and also this 3 years project, and I think totally is like about 5 million for 3 years. For
Does it
our
break
job.
anybody's heart that Penn Station was torn down?
Yes.
Penn Station
Oh
was
my
like,
God.
Thank
Thank God for Alfred
You
Hitchcock.
know, these buildings are all seem to be, I don't know, I'm not an expert here, limestone or relatively hard
yeah,
stone.
this marble.
Marble, okay. Where I live, well, when a lot of the brownstone buildings were built in the 19th century in Brooklyn, I was reading, you know, builders were looking for soft stone that they could build with fast, get out of the earth. But the brownstone was crumbling, but in a lot of the houses by the end of the 19th century, a lot of which had a lot of ornamentation. I wonder if you've worked in any of, apparently they're repaired in different materials now, because you can't, the quarries are all closed anyway, you can't find brownstone.
Yeah.
But have you ever worked in that?
Then definitely we did it. And the brownstone, the problem of brownstones because the material itself is not good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also most of the brownstone built with the Holland brownstone, and it's the quarry is closed,
Yeah.
so they don't have any brownstone coming out anymore. So, and also for a long time the brownstone, because the quality and the price are high, so a lot of they use stucco to replace the surface, right? To fix the surface repair. They also call it brownstone, still called brownstone. And we did a job at the Jewish Museum. Right now we still on the job. The next Jewish Museum on the 92nd Street, it's number 2. Or number 1, 92nd Street.
What do you mean by number 1? There's one
Number
on the
2,
back.
I said there's just a Jewish Museum, the next one, just against this.
On 92nd Street.
Yeah.
Oh.
And they will now belong to Jewish Museum. That's a brownstone townhouse, and then I repaired in 1990s, and now they do another time repair, and so they showed off a brownstone.
What is brownstone?
Brownstone is a colored brownstone. It's kind of sandstone.
Oh, so
Yeah,
it's
sandstone. It's a sandstone. It's not very good quality.
it's
Doesn't
pretty.
last long. Doesn't last long. And that time it's cheap. It's easy to get.
Yeah.
We still pay a lot of money for that.
You still pay. I mean,
Brownstone.
staircases all over are being repaired. It seems to me. Brownstone.
Yeah, and also we did a job at the Palladius Club.
On 14th Street?
No, it's on the 21st Street, 22nd Street,
22nd Street.
20th Street. It's what?
Gramercy Park.
Gramercy Park. For 16 Gramercy Park.
Oh, the Players Club.
The
Yeah.
Players Club. We did replace all the porch there, brownstone. We did a job, and we carved all those capitals because the brownstone that brownstone is from China, Chinese brownstone. Because
So it was imported.
you cannot get a Portland brownstone anymore, so they replaced with Chinese brownstone.
You can.
To get it from Connecticut, there was a quarry, that's where most of it came to New York. Right
Yeah,
over
Connecticut, the Portland brownstone is from Connecticut.
It was cheap, easy to work, transportation was easier, and in the late 19th century there was a sort of rebellion against limestone and marble because of a sort of romantic revival of wanting darker, slightly more gloomy, Anglo-Saxon-like buildings. But cheaper, easier to work, and easier to transport. It's lighter.
I wonder if there was a special union for that to work with, Masons and Freemasons.
Actually, for the
I like it. I like brown.
for the construction, always said that have unions, but we are not belong to union. The union don't do this type of work, and they do a simple. But this is actually it's the way we did it to hope the biggest growth. The same way. You see, this is the one to the all the way to the roof there, and there's another one goes through the scroll hole in the middle. So this is hold up, and so there's a nut on the top to turn this, and this is just a smaller screws. This is expensive because we did a job at the courthouse, so we used the same way. This is the library, the public library. So this is complete finished things. And this is before we install everything. They cut a lot of stone out, the bad stone. So someone replaced this, my guys replaced the stone. And after all, we did the carving for the building. You know this gentleman, you know the story, right? Steven Schwarzman, he donated $100 million to library. That's the deal. Put his name on the building. So this is the building. We checked on the internet. We don't say library. It says Steve Schwarzman's building. $100 million. He donated a lot of things.
It's just a plaque on the floor.
What?
It's a plaque on the floor when you walk up to the building.
But this is the front. The column underneath of the column, the front. But there are two entrances. They put there are 4 locations.
What about the Lincoln Memorial, the Gettysburg Address, and the guy made a typo?
Really?
So how do you repair granite?
I don't know. Really?
This is on the 42nd Street. But we put the name, carved the name outside. And this is part of the job. Placement. So that was another job. But I don't know if we have we did a lot of work. You see this Jefferson Market branch. We did replace this. This actually is called the New York State seal of New York State. And then we replaced a lot of details here. You see those details.
But it was a prison. It was a women's prison.
Yeah, it used to be, but the building was gone. They took down that building on the.
It was adjacent.
Side.
It was adjacent to the.
Yeah.
This woman's prison. And this was before. So all details are gone. And this is the process. This is the finish. And this was detail on these locations.
Were those beavers?
Yeah, beavers.
Beavers. No, because the
beavers. And those two what bottle they called all the flowers.
The asters. That was their family motto. And they beaver hats, beaver
that's
coats.
how New York. That's what New York was formed on.
People from Holland, right?
Canada.
No.
And this is before. This we replaced.
So most of the damage was from weather or?
Anything. This is also kind of sandstone.
So how long, like the repairs now that you're doing, how long do they last?
You couldn't imagine, you could think it's another 100 years. Because I bet in 100 years nobody will recover this.
That building went up in 1877. It was over more than 100 years.
So most of the damage is weather or those conditions.
Lasted over 100 years.
It happens again.
Yeah, but this is, you see, this is the replacement. All the replacement stones. You see, this is new. And this is before, after. We also repaired a lot of these kind of locations. Broken areas. And then you see this area, all repaired.
It's amazing it wasn't torn down. I mean, it really has kept its place.
But
it was in danger of it in the 60s. Luckily,
damage from the surface that get into inside. So sandstone is bad, can absorb a lot of water moisture from the surface. So it's a lot of time the broken damage from behind it inside. Mm-hmm. When you remove the surface, you see it's keep going, a lot of cracks inside.
Ed Koch saved that. he was in the New York State Assembly. There was a lot of
Yeah,
preservation groups.
so we did the like cloisters, the Museum of Metropolitan Museum of Art, that's the branch. And then we did this is the 3 12th century early Gothic windows. Actually, it's before we do, it's totally non-functional. So it's blocked from inside. They had a partition wall, blocked those 3 windows to inside. The inside, from inside, is not see those windows at all before we do the job. But so now we did I don't know if you can see the color now. See, if you see some yellowish color, that's all new stone. So about 30 to 40% is replacement. So the cathedral stone by another company, they were doing the job and trained the local kids.
Oh.
And they promised they would donate half of the money profit to the church, so they can use church space free. But after I don't know, until they left, they still haven't donated a penny to the church. So the church didn't. But they lost a lot of money also. And not only the profit, they lost money. But those are before, those are after. So, and this is the old picture for that same room. When it's built in 1930s. Actually, there's a door here, and it was closed. And this was the old windows what we fixed from inside. You see from inside. This is those 3 windows from inside. And then we did by the for the architect design, we made 2 new windows. Actually, those windows they just for the not these windows, they just for the showcase for the state classes. You know, those 2 new windows are over here. These are late Gothic old windows. These are 15th centuries. Actually, took it down. Every piece, we moved to this after remove the windows, tracery area, and then we bring to our studio, and we repaired every piece of those 4 windows, because those windows and being repaired for a lot of times. The architect asked me. The architect you saw on the cross, which had a picture with me, he asked me, cannot fix a small part, can you fix it with different ways? So he designed to cut all those glass, setting area off, like a V cut, something, and insert the new stone, then carve. So I told him, I said, whatever you design, I do whatever you do. So no question about it. And then you see, we took a picture for each piece and from different angles. And then you see this is very bad damage. You cannot really do small repair. But this is the process. We put the new stone inside. We cut the bad stone off. You see this? This is the haven't glue yet. So we glue inside. So like this is also glue. Haven't touched it. This is and then this is after carve. So we took another picture. See this. Every piece like this had a picture. So then we have to put everything together and fix, and also have to match the holes for the stained glass. So we haven't finished yet in the process, but almost. Okay, this almost. Those it's interesting. It's a very, very nice job. Everybody loved it. Just when they have some stonework want to do. Chen.
How big job do you want? How small a job will you do?
Actually, no limits. Either small or big. We do small, sometimes metropolitan within let us do a pedestal to match some older sculptures. And we do whatever they want. This job is job, right? And the people trust us for this high quality job. We very proud of it.
Do you usually get a time limit to finish the job?
We have to. Because this is a job. We cannot put in unlimited time and labor there. It's really labor consuming. Money consuming. Cannot do anything. Yes, sir.
What's the hardest stone that you or your company use? What's the hardest stone that you have to work with in terms of repairing or rebuild?
First of all, depend on the building. We have to match the original material. And secondly, depend on order from the architect. We don't decide what stone to use. We always follow. And also architect follows the rule from a landmark preservation department. So we don't choose material. And we work for any kind of material they want. Sandstone, limestone, marble, granite. So I'm so sorry, just to make it quick, we don't have much time. So this Metropolitan Museum, we did a repair for those studies, the even face, and this I was carving. This is me. And you see this in the price of rough carve, and this to repair a nose. And also this is the guy you saw in the cloisters. And we did this is in American way. And after resetting this, so they changed the setting of this they call the all angel staircase from an all angel church. So this is supposed to be another panel here, over here, and they think it's too long, so remove one piece. So they put this piece in. So this is actually short from the original. But we did some work here. You see the capitals of the column, because we made a half of column. And also, this is the plaster repair of this lady's foot. So I repaired this foot with carved with limestone. You see, this we had to work on. He's working on the column. You see, this is the foot. And so this is repair area, this is new column. So this is after the conservative color, the part made seamless. You don't see the useful. And this is the type of dender. This is what I mentioned. And I did a texture for these three pieces over here. And then when they replace this stone, they want the new stone texture same as the existing. So I did for here. This is temple dender, so I saw that stone smaller than original. That's what the purpose did. And also they don't want the color also exactly like the original. They want to leave some kind of distance, not obvious. This is on the building. We did a repair for this, this area. I think somewhere here.
Is that like the Federal Reserve? Is that in
No,
the
this
city?
Metropolitan Museum.
Oh, this is in that too?
Yeah, the facade.
So do you take care of the cast iron and so forth?
No, we did not. This is actually this is joint here. See, our job is don't make big joints. We make the very very small joints. Try to have the best result. But sometimes we cannot. This is new and old. You cannot do anything about this. And this is another thing. In the Metropolitan Museum, the new Morocco court, the Muslim gallery. And this is the original. This is the older one. But this one, the curator did not like it. Doesn't look it. So they want to change this. They want me to make it like a seamless a cover, because the machine was underneath of it. They have to remove this to repair the machines or whatever. So the water come here. So I gave them a different idea, so we made it perfect, yeah. But I'll show you later. The American Museum of Natural History. This is repair. This is show how we do the repair. This is new repair. This is the new repair. And this is the repair. And then also, the texture is exactly like the original, but only the color, the stones choose by architects, so we do what they pick.
What kind of damage was done that you had to repair a little section like that?
Little section used to be a hole. Used to be the angles removed. Like in the middle of the stone used to be an angle hole. And then like this is the repair. Broken area, so I think it is one piece. And I think this was this one. This one. This also. And I think this also. If I don't tell you, maybe you cannot. It's really hard to see. That's why our job, so nobody do such a nice job than us. It's so proud to say that, right? It's not so many people can say. And this is, you see, this is from here, right? Oh, sorry. It's from here. So you're afraid that I lost my
You can't tell.
And this is the one. I think it's somewhere else. Because this is definitely the best job. The rock filler has concrete. Actually, we did a lot of repair on this somewhere else. The repointing wire. This is the what we call the stones, stellar, what do you call this stone?
Stalactite?
Yes, stalactite. And this is originally, and they want to replace the beam on top. So want me to remove this section and then reinstall back, because the stone cannot get it, so they want to use original. Now is this is called the goose skull fountain. And it used to be a sculpture.
Where is that? Where is that?
Westchester.
Where? It's Westchester. Yeah, it's what called it?
It's Tarrytown.
Yeah, Tarrytown. Yeah, North Tarrytown. You can. It's open to public.
You can tour it.
Yeah, like from April 15th. To November 1st. Yeah, you can go there to the town, they sell ticket. They have a tour bus today. not allow the people driving. It's high security. This is a big fountain. We did a work over here on these columns. You see this before process, after. This is the process. Set stone and then carves image. And this procedure, but it's not too many things. We did a lot of this kind of build, and that's it. And for today, I'm sorry, just
No, it's okay. Thank you so much. I mean, I wish it could be going on, all right. Yeah, from my understanding, his job.